So I don't have any specific plan. I just wanted to see if you folks have any questions and want to discuss anything more specific, because as I said, I'm going to be on leave, and maybe you'll need to, I don't know, do something with the code base, or in general have some questions. If nobody has any questions, we will just stop the meeting. It's just, yeah.
I've added a question. So I'm just, so my intention is to maybe play a little bit with the issue that I've created myself to try to improve the message when we get, like if we have a wrong token, wrong secret, we get this message saying error, RPC error, stream terminated. So protocol error is the kind of error that we get. I will even post it in the docs. This one. And yeah, so I thought about playing with it to start with. And I'm running make tests right now. And I see that there are a lot of probably packages being downloaded. I see it's taking quite a while. So analyzing 37 targets and so on and so forth. I can also share my screen. Do you see my screen? Yeah.
Yes, I can answer the question.
Yeah.
I think I know what's happening. So Bazel test and this is what is executed with the make test. It builds everything and run tests. To be more precise, it builds everything that matches the target pattern. So //3 dots means root of the workspace and all the packages underneath it. Yeah, this, yes. Mm-hmm. So two minuses are just a separator between a list of targets and command line parameters for the Bazel itself. Mm-hmm. And then, so //3 dots matches all the targets in the repository. And then that means it will build and test anything that matched, which is everything. So it builds all the binaries, all the things basically, and then also builds and runs all the tests. Yes, this line basically. Mm-hmm. And there is another target, make target, which is called quick test, if I remember correctly. Yes, mm-hmm. So you see it has this build tests only parameter in addition to everything else. And this changes the behavior to only build and run tests and, you know, build what the tests depend on. So if you use this, it will only, like if you change one test file that nothing depends on, it will only build the test binary and run this test binary. This will be super quick. So if you are iterating on tests only, this is the thing to use, or your editor's support for tests.
Sounds cool. And if is there another question after mine? Not yet. Tom, you wanna go?
Yeah, just wondering if you have any review and contribution guidelines for the project. No. How have you been doing this so far?
No, but there is a ticket to write them down.
Okay.
Who can merge? I mean, I think currently it's only Thong and me, but we can add anyone who wants to be a maintainer as well. Not a problem. I can add everybody if you want.
I don't mind if other people want to merge. We can add everybody too.
Oh, I think maybe Victor as well. He's a maintainer as well.
Cool. Yeah, I'm aware about the Golang Style guide. I think that's it. I think we have a Golang style guide, but that's Golang
yes.
style guide.
Yeah.
But that's not review, isn't it?
Yeah, in the documentation, not handbook, but the docs for development, there is a Golang page. I mean, worst case, you can always go to the Golang channel and ask for review or help or questions or anything.
Oh, okay. It links, there's a code review section which links to the Go code review comments. What? Interesting. So Go itself has a bunch of things. Okay, that's useful.
Yeah, there is a Golang. If you found it, could you put the links in the document?
Yeah, try and find it.
There's a set of conventions, a small set of conventions that people follow.
I've done so. Matt has the next question.
Just since Joao said he's going to work on something, I was curious if you could show us how you typically work on the agent and how you have it talking to your GDK and stuff like that, because it looks like right now you have like a run it shell script you use that points it at your GDK.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Are there things that we'll need to change for our local to be able to test things?
So the run it thing, I don't actually use it. I used to use it, but now I do not. What I do is I use GDK. So I can share my screen.
Do you just point GDK, or I guess, do you do your changes in GDK's copy of the agent?
No, so this is GDK, and well, I started, you know how to do it. Then I stopped the agent there. So GDK stopped. Let me add this here. So let's do that. Okay, stop. Oh, start. Stop cast. So now cast is not working. But then I open the agent project, and then I have two targets here. One to start cast and one to start the agent. So one to start cast, it's basically, you can create it by going to CMD, cast main, and this is the command sign. If you just run it, it will run it, but it will not work because it needs command line parameters to find everything. Oh, it actually defaults take care of it, but it's not connected to the local GDK, right? Because it doesn't know where it is, I think. Depends on the defaults, which I don't remember. Anyway, after this, you get this line here, or you could alternatively press this create code. It will create this line without running the binary. So you can edit it by clicking here. Is it still running? Okay, edit configurations. So CAS, and the only thing you add is program arguments, and this is the command configuration file for CAS, which is as simple as that. I can share that here. Is there a pre-formatted section? So, okay. That looks scary.
The right click that you had for creating the run configuration, is that an extension in VS Code?
Well, this is Golang. So
Golang, okay.
I don't know anything about VS Code. I've never used it. I only saw it. I just never used it. So
It seems to run Go build.
Yes, you can obviously run this from command line, but this is more convenient. Yeah, we could actually, yes. If you look at this, yes, if you run it, it will also print the command that it's doing. So it builds it, and then it just executes the binary that it built. But you could also do this for run. And it will run the package. And we need to provide for the configuration. That's like really simple. And the go run will rebuild anything if anything needs to be rebuilt. That's another option. So basically, what I do is I start both CAS and agent from my editor, so that I can debug it here, right here, if I press the other button, debug button, or I mean, just running them from the editor is convenient because I can quickly stop and start. And the agent is the same but different package, and this is the command basically. You just specify your point folder. I don't know if this will work, probably not, because it's not a shell. So that's how I run. Let's actually check that things work. So started CAS, started agent, and they both should start printing some logs.
All right, so we don't even need to install the agent on the cluster. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, it will try to connect to Kubernetes, which is not running because Docker is not running. So if I start Docker, install updates, skip. It will connect, but yeah, you see it's connected to CAS. CAS found some commit for configuration, send this commit to agent. Agent parse the configuration, it's trying to connect to the cluster, and it's failing here, and now it's doing something. Okay, now that means GitOps engine is running basically, and then it got the config map from the manifest project that I have in my GDK, and it's successfully synchronized. So that's how I develop, nothing else basically.
So right now the agent is connecting to your, I guess, K3S.
It's kind. I use kind.
Kind. Okay.
But wow, doesn't matter. Any
local. Okay. How does it point? I guess where does it get the Kubernetes API? Is that from?
I don't remember. Let me check. So CAS address, token file. I think it uses the local configuration, the default context that you have. So because my local kubectl is configured and can do things, we use client goal packages, and one of the packages that we use is, I can show it, is the package that binds the command line flags, this thing, generic client options. It's from CLI runtime from Kubernetes. So it binds all the flags to connect to a cluster basically, and add flags to this one. So you see the certificate, flags, and all the things. You can also see this if you do. Okay. Help. Yes. It will print a lot of flags, and these are the same identical flags that kubectl has, because we use the same piece of code that kubectl uses. Well, not it uses more, but we use a subset of all the flags. And
So we could
it
just pass
defaults.
context if we needed to.
yes, you can pass the config file, and the context, and that should be what we need. You see, we only have 2 flags in our code base, but then everything else is coming from the library. Same as Kubernetes, all those parameters are the same.
Sorry, Tong, you were going to say something?
Yeah, just a note, like, I think kind is the only thing that works currently. I tried that out with Nicholas the other day, or yesterday. K3s works, might work if you set it to use the host network, but you need to try it out. So you need to go, K3D. Yeah, so you need to go K3D, create cluster, use the host network.
But why?
Because it creates a new Docker network every time you create a new cluster. I don't know why. Kind works because you just use the host.docker.internal thing, which is good. And I don't know why Minikube doesn't work. So.
Oh, to connect, right? To connect to
from your agent.
CAS.
Yeah,
Right.
to CAS. But if you can run your agent K locally, then brilliant.
Oh yes, I don't have this problem because I run it locally, not in the cluster. Yeah, okay, I understand. Well, it should, if you do it this way, then any cluster should be okay. But if not, then yes, you will have to do something else.
Have you tried using a loopback alias to access CAS or like the GitLab API from within K3D?
Are you talking to me or Mikhail? Sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry, to you, Tom, because you said it didn't work. Maybe you want to try using a loopback alias because like the problem may just be that localhost means something different.
Yeah,
within.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
I
linked in I think the development section for the QA tunnel. I think I linked docs on the loopback alias. So it's just like you give a different address to your MacBook's localhost.
Yeah.
And that way, and it's still a local IP, so you're not exposing your machine or like you're not listening to requests on your local network even. It's still like just within your computer's network. And yeah, it will be accessible to Docker and whatever. I haven't tried if it's accessible to virtual machines, but probably.
I don't know, but that's all right.
As long as they're bridging the network, then yeah, it should be.
So I want to try to accessing the host from CAS, from kind, and this helps.
Yep, that works for me too. Yeah, with kind.
Sounds like what we want to do is run the agent locally and not in the cluster. So that's
just faster because you don't have to build the Docker image. Even if it's like extra 5 seconds, you are iterating, and it's annoying to even wait for 5 seconds. And
yeah, every time you save a change, like.
Yes, and in the editor, you just literally press stop and then press start, like that basically. All commands, Control C or this red thing, stop and then start, or even there's one.
Well, you can set breakpoints too that way, right?
Yes, you can debug it. It's very nice, much better than. Well, you can debug anything that is running remotely, but this is much nicer. We can do this and stop and then debug.
That'll be nice, particularly for trying to make that error message better. because you're gonna have to get it to try to reconnect, read the config and reconnect every time you want to try something. So hopefully it'll be a little faster.
Yep, the debugger works. If you have troubles with the debugger, I think you need. Well, I didn't have to do anything on this new computer, but previously I had to update Delve, the debugger for Go. I think it used to be a separate package that you needed to install, but I think now Golang bundles the debugger, so maybe you don't need to do anything. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then you'll debug it. You may need to update Delve.
But I think it's Delve that's installed in a Go 1.13 install, so I need to switch to my latest Go install because I think you're right. But I also need to figure out why VS Code is trying to launch Go 1.13 when the project I'm in is not using 1.13.
I don't know. It's probably a default, or maybe it's set to. I think
Yeah.
in Golang you use it. I can never find these things. Project SDK, yes. And where do I configure project SDK? Now maybe this. Yes. So this is where you pick which Go version you want to use. But I mean, from the ones that you have installed. But you just use the latest because they're all compatible. It's not like Python 3 and 2 and I don't know, Ruby 2.7. I had it's a problem. So it's okay. Yeah, pretty much default settings. I didn't need to do anything special. Okay, any other questions?
You also debug tests as well? I feel like you do. Can you put a breakpoint on tests?
Yes. So tests, let's debug. You can run with coverage as well. Let's try coverage. See the
If you do it this way, would it run just this unit test, not all
this
of
way,
them?
yeah, this way it runs only this unit test. There is also this thing which runs all the tests in the package, not only in this file, but the whole package. So there are other test files, and it will run all the tests in all the test files in this package. So this is coverage, and then you can see coverage by just coverage that you get by running this test, not all the tests. And you can see what is covered, what is not covered. That's what it's testing. And then it's here in green. And yellow means some branches are covered, some not. Red obviously means it's not, wasn't executed. Pretty obvious, I think. And yeah, the debugging tests. It takes a while to start because I don't know why I haven't done this, and maybe dependencies are new or something, and then it needs to recompile things. That's why it's slow. You can see here it's compiling. Okay, this is the debug testing. Look at the variables.
Cool.
And yeah, it's nothing unusual. It's just the biker. Okay. Are we done then? Any other questions?
Yeah, got one last question. Like, what are the steps to release a new version?
So you merge your changes via merge request, and then I couldn't find anything better than just going and creating a tag, and that's what we do, and that's it. That's new tag. Then increment the version. Don't put anything here. Create tag. Then it will start a build, a pipeline, and the pipeline will create a release. Create the release, and then I just exit the release, and I add something that is notable, not all the merge requests, but something that's more or less interesting. Big bug fixes or interesting features. And that's it. That's how you use a new version. CI latest images built on each push to master, and also you can. So that's some pipeline. Any pipeline. You can manually build the image for this commit. If you need to test your image for something, if you need it, you can do it here.
That's the Agent K image?
It's both.
Both, okay.
Or maybe 4 of them are like class and agent, both race and non-race.
I see.
You can go to the registry and see what's there. I don't think I've recently ran this manual build image job, so I probably know. These ones are the maybe I did. So these ones are the ones for some commit. This is the commit, and this is the latest, obviously, and we should also have tags for versions somewhere.
Yeah, there they are. So those tags, they match the tags on the releases?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can go to the GitLab YAML and see how things work. It's really not complicated here. So push commit image is the manual job. Tag image is the one that runs on tags. If commit is tagged, this is the tag OCI. And this is in the makefile. And so it builds 4 images and then pushes all 4 images.
What's the reason for the race and non-race images, and when should we use which ones?
Oh, I like to use race is data race protector. Enabled images. I think it's cool. It's very good to detect data races in your code or in third-party libraries. So it instruments the actual binary with. It tracks where, just read the blog post, but it tracks where the variable was written and where it's read, and if there is a mutex log or some synchronization between those, if they are happening on different go routines. So it prevents, it detects data races. So it's makes your binary maybe twice as slow and consumes maybe twice as memory, but it detects various issues with concurrency, so it shouldn't be used in production. Anywhere else, it's okay to use it. It shouldn't affect the behavior of the program in any way. I've never seen that. Yeah, it's pretty about. So it's safe to use for testing in pre-production. So also all the tests that we have, you can see here, they all have race detector enabled, so that if we have a data race in the test, it will panic, it will crash, and you will see that we have a problem. That's how I found problems in GitOps engine, and there were quite a few data races, and there is still at least one which I haven't fixed yet. And yeah, it really helps.
So it crashes if it finds a data race, or just outputs only?
Yes, it prints 2 stack traces or 4 stack traces where the write happened, where the read happened, or maybe 2 writes with the same memory location, and then it also prints the stack trace of where each coroutine was created. So we have 2 coroutines doing 2 operations, and they are not synchronized properly, and at least one of them is write. So write read and or write write, and then they make corrupted memory. Also, I like this this blog post. Liquor and guns, what could possibly go wrong? So if you want to learn more about it, which I recommend, this blog post. It's written by Dmitry Yukov, who is one of the Go, I guess, maintainers, or at least was, and he's the person behind the race detector and many other things. Memory sanitizer or thread sanitizer, and a few other things which are only, I think, only used by C and C++ community, at least so far. But race detector is part of the Golang toolchain, which is very cool. Yeah, you see he's there. Pretty old. 7 years ago. Anything else? Oh, actually, I wanted to ask Matt, if it's probably related. How do we build in Omnibus? How do we build binaries and images for non-Linux, non-x86, for ARM and so on? How have you managed to do this?
Not I haven't tested the ARM build yet. But theoretically, it would we're building from source, so it would be building with an ARM Go compiler. So the whole tool chain would be ARM, and it's actually built in an ARM Docker image for the build.
But you haven't tried.
I haven't tried the ARM one yet.
Okay.
No.
So why I'm asking is because so the way we build the Docker images here, and I think I covered that in the video previously, but I want to show something else as well. Not this file. So CAS, for example. Oh, yeah. Let's look at CAS. So we call this macro, and this macro comes from this file. And this is the file, and this is the macro, and that's where we define the Go binaries. And this one builds for the local machine. This one builds with race detector for the local machine. This one builds for Linux ARM64, and this one is race detector AMD64 Linux. So if you are building a Docker image using the make file, then it will use these two. And you are cross-compiling from ARM to AMD64. So we just need to add another binary here. And so we can go Arch. So also this is something that I wanted to show. So you look at this and you don't understand what's this and what's happening. So it's easy to trace back to what this is by just looking at the name. So this is Go binary. It's coming from this load. This load uses this, I think it's called the workspace name. So you copy this and you go to workspace, and this is where all the workspace imported workspaces are defined. Well, almost basically. Some of them are defined in macros, which like here, dependencies. Macros which are imported, but here. But eventually everything is here. There is like no magic. All the third-party things that we depend on, they are defined in here. So this is where it comes from, and you can see the URL, and then you go to this place, and you have documentation here for all the things. So let's see how can we build for ARM. This is the Go binary rule. Builds an executable from a set of source files in the main package. And we have the, what is the name of the parameter? Search for it. Okay, maybe it embeds. Why is it not documented? Is it because it embeds something? Okay, yes, it embeds another thing, and no, it is documented. It's just here. Okay. So yes, so this is the for cross compilation, and we can go here and see how. Have you seen this section?
Oh, you were doing it for GDK?
Okay. So, yeah, if you need anything, any changes, something that is inconvenient, and this is probably, I don't know, maybe it is okay. We can work together to make it convenient. So there should be a list of things that it supports. Okay, any valid. So it supports all the valid Go Arch. So if Go can build it, then this thing just delegates to Go compiler, right? So we just need to create a Go binary for ARM, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know if we actually need to cross compile though, because they're actually building the entire omnibus image for ARM on ARM.
But if
with a full ARM
okay.
toolchain.
Okay, then it's not. You don't. Yeah, you can use this target that builds for the host. Extract cast. This one is what is used in GDK, so it builds for the host because you run GDK on the host. So yeah, it kind of does what. Cool. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know if they want to get into. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that they do get into cross compilation, because the way that they're building for ARM, they actually, I guess we're using some like a third party like VM provider to provide us with like real ARM VMs to do the builds on, because it's faster than doing it in virtualization. So, but part of me just thinks the best thing would be to cross compile the whole image, but or the whole package, which is all the things and all in the omnibus package. but I don't know. I think that would probably take some significant changes to how Omnibus works. So right now I'm just fitting into the pattern that's there.
It might be difficult to cross-compile like all the Ruby packages and stuff if they don't have support for that.
Yeah, and we're even compiling from source things like libtiff and libffi and ImageMagick and all that stuff, all the dependencies for all the native extensions for all the gems that we use. So Omnibus is pretty crazy, the amount of stuff that it builds from source. And we have forks of some of those projects too. Like we have our own libtiff fork. I don't know what's going on, but I'll leave that to the distribution team.
Okay. More things we want to discuss?
I guess just to add on to Tong's question of the release, are we at the point now where once we tag a release, we would just go edit or do an MR to update the version file that's in GitLab Rails? Is that how we would do like a new release and a new version?
Yes, I think so. I've done that a couple of days ago and it seemed to have worked.
And then that updates for Omnibus and for GDK, but I guess chart will still have to do something extra, right?
Does it update Omnibus? And chart is using latest, I think.
Yeah, I think, yeah, so the Omnibus is using the version file the way that GDK is. So I guess chart will have to, I guess, yeah, chart just uses latest, huh? So it doesn't matter.
No, chart uses a fixed tag, if I'm not wrong. But it's not, it's a Docker image though, it's different. So I believe chart is currently using 0.02 at the moment. Am I right,
think
Joel?
that was a request from Grain that so that we could deploy to pre-production, we had to merge it with a tag. We were using latest at first, and then we had to change to 0.2. Yeah, that's correct.
Yes.
So to bump to a new tag, we would MR against GitLab Rails to update the version file, and we would MR the chart to update the tag there. So just two places.
Sounds like it.
Cool. So I guess now we can break all the things.
Yeah, just go on holiday and we'll break everything. We're gonna change all your linting styles.
Let's go. How do you change it?
I will pay you so much.
Okay, I think we ran out of questions. Thanks for your time. I hope this was useful. Have a good day or evening or morning or something. See ya.
Thanks, Mikhail. It was great.